if you can do it now if it's waxed, but he has all of them in the basement just ready to go. Like, that's so cool. So there's going to be little tidbits like this that I feel we're going to learn about people along the way that are just so unexpected. So if we can like just embrace the community that comes with that, I'm so excited about it. But all right, everybody, let's give Josh a couple minutes to join here. And if we can, get your stretches in. Oh, I feel like I need better technique though, right? Like, okay, hold on. Lock back in, go back to my basketball days. What are the real stretches to do? Ooh, you guys know about this one. Yeah, one of the other things that I've been thinking about through this process of like having all these different conversations as well is like I ask a lot about goals, and I'm gonna ask Josh as well. I'm probably gonna ask like future guests as well. Like I just don't think there's one way to win ultimately. Like even the concept of discipline is being redefined for me. Like I think I would have viewed something like a goal setting process is like, oh, that person is really setting themselves up to win. Like that discipline is so necessary. But it's so interesting because like I don't know if the right word is discipline or if what it really is just like you're able to get clarity extremely quickly and then act upon that clarity, which is different than discipline. Discipline just means you're like going to sit down, do the work, and set yourself up for success. But in the other world, it's like you have the malleability to be like water. Like, okay, back and forth. I am water. I move with the water. And you're able to understand like when a problem is ahead, get clarity on how you view the problem and how you want to solve the problem, and then action upon it. And is that discipline? I don't think so. I think it's just awareness. And like that's something through my conversations with Jess that stood out quite a bit. And then also my conversation with Savannah Sanchez yesterday, like that was something where she had the utmost clarity on what she wanted to accomplish, which made it a lot easier for her. So it's been a really fun process having these conversations, but it's definitely like pushing myself, I'd say, to also redefine some of the like concepts that have been racking in my brain for quite a bit. But everybody, I see the view count going up. I will say we just had Jess Bachman on. Jess shared all types of gems. We learned so much about him personally and professionally. Shout out to the DJ. I forgot to get his DJ name. Damn, got to hit him after. We got to get that DJ name. Shout out to people in the chat. We had Jess's wife. We had Phil. We had James. Everybody going back and forth. But everybody, welcome to ThumbstopLive. ThumbstopLive is the creative strategy daily show. Let me pull up the Twitter channel or the X profile. If you are interested in tapping in with us more, give us a follow at ThumbstopLive. We are live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're bringing so many of the community members that you know and love already to not only understand their technical experience and their expertise there, but also learn about them personally and why they tick the way that they tick. We are all humans with complex stories. And those things are so important to know, especially when you're on X and you just see like the banter or the pushback and the fighting that can happen there. So with that said, welcome to the party, y'all. Super excited to have you here. And I would love to welcome our second guest to the stage. Okay, say no more. Evan, you're saying too many words. We got the guy. We got to bring him up here. We got to bring Josh to the stage, y'all. Hey, Josh, what's happening, man?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you doing?
I'm stoked to be here. This is my first time tuning in. I've watched your replays, but this is the first time I've ever been live with you guys or even gotten to see it live. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught the end of Jess's. Jess sends his remorse. He's like, tell Josh, I'm sorry, man. You had to follow me. I'm like, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Jess is always messing with us, man.
I just shared his new like creative AI chatbot thing on Twitter. So I don't get why I'm getting so much hate even after helping him out.
I know we're giving him so much love. I also told Jess this. I'm like, Jess, I can never tell if you're messing with me or not. And he's like, Evan, I always am. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, at least I can predict it then. At least I can predict it.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jess is, I actually saw the tool that you guys put out, and we actually have a shared client where I saw that ad. That had like the million, I think it's like 1.8 million in spend or whatever, because I I was in their ad account, like looking at some of our creatives, and so it's cool to see that it's now like public for everyone to check out.
No way, man. I feel so. For context, to everybody, I was also telling Jess, this is the first time Josh and I are meeting for the first time. Like I've seen your Twitter a bunch, and we talked on email for sure. But I was excited. Like I have so many of my own questions that I'm curious about.
Oh man, I'm happy to. I'm an open book, so hit me with whatever. Where are you calling?
I'm in Toronto. Toronto's hometown. Toronto's home base. Yeah. How about you, Florida?
Nice. I don't know many Canadians, so it's an honor to meet you. I'm in Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. My in-laws live out here during the summer, and I'm calling from a wood shop. This is pretty crazy, but I have this huge wood shop behind me. It's giving worker energy, builder energy. So I love a new location to take some calls.
One, that's so cool. Like it looks incredible. And then two, the vibes are high. It's like, all right, like I know what I'm supposed to do in here. Get the work done.
Yes, sir.
Josh, exactly. I am wondering for our audience who might not be as familiar with you, if we just start nice and easy, the quick, tell us about yourself, a little bit of work experience, a little bit of personal stuff. Honestly, anything you're willing to share, we can take it from there, man.
Yeah, I'm Josh Durham. I'm founder of Align Growth. I'm an influencer marketing agency out of Vero Beach, Florida. I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. And I think the question that you sent me before this, what am I most known for? A couple things. Number one, my hot takes on not drinking oat milk is one essential one that I would say is a content staple of mine. Second is probably being David Herman's number one greatest enemy and or punching bag. And third is just putting out dad content constantly on Twitter has been my next content pillar. So I try to keep it light, and most people never take me seriously enough to have me on a live stream. So I'm honored to be here.
Man, that kills me. That's so funny. That's so funny. I need to talk about the oat milk thing a little bit.
Let's talk.
I didn't know that about you. Yeah, and I would like to know why you have such strong opinions.
I just think oat milk really overpowers coffee. I really love coffee, and I really think that oat milk like ruins coffee, and it like makes it all gross. Like it's like you're putting oats in milk. It just doesn't make any sense. I think we need.
So I need a reco. I need a reco from you then.
Whole milk, just whole milk. That's the go-to. We just keep it.
Your boy is lactose intolerant. Your boy is lactose intolerant. What are my options, man?
Try raw milk. See what happens when it's less processed.
You're not wrong, honestly. You're not wrong. I actually like that, and I haven't tried that, so I might actually get with that. I'm down. I'm for sure down.
The world. We're in Florida where the raw milk is flowing.
Hey, Josh, I've done this thing when I pulled up some of your tweets. So I want to go ahead and look at them and then just get your opinions, okay? Perfect. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you first. So the first one that I've found here, we're going back a little bit in time. We're going back to December 2023. I just need to clear this up. Affiliate marketing and influencer marketing are two different things. These words are not synonymous. Talk us through it in your opinions.
2 years ago tweet. That's crazy. So a couple thoughts. I still think this. I still believe this. So I would say how I would differentiate these two is oftentimes when I'm talking to brands, they have an affiliate network. Maybe it's set up on a social snowball. Maybe it's set up on a Rakuten or just like, any kind of like affiliate software. And oftentimes we'll come in and they're basically getting no views from their affiliate program, and their affiliate program is kind of flatlined, where it's not growing over time.
Oh, Josh, did I lose you? Mic check. Did I lose Josh, everybody? I might have lost Josh. Let me put him off stage and bring him back real quick. Mic check, Josh. Basically what happened is the workers in the wood shop got fed up. They're like, we got to do the most work. We got to actually show this guy up, show him what's going on. So that's what happened, y'all. on the connection side of things. But honestly, I'm sure we'll get Josh back. Give him a second here. But I think what I'm excited about is like to hear his opinion on affiliate, the difference between affiliate and influencer. And because Josh specializes on the influencer side of things, I want to dig deep into influencer. So they recently launched this influencer whitelisting guide that I think has, I actually haven't had a chance to go through it in its entirety, but I'm excited to see the different opinions that are shared in that. And I want to start to uncover, it's like when you're running influencer programs, if especially when you're starting out, what's the best way to do it? Should you be thinking about it in like an organic play first, a paid play first, or whatever it might be? But I think we've been able to get Josh back. Let's bring him back up here. Yo.
Apologies. Sorry. It's the
Hey.
it's the woodshop Wi-Fi. I I switched for some reason it auto switched networks and then it kicked me off. So I apologize.
It's all good. The first thing I said was that that like a woodshop worker was like, nah, this guy's not outworking me today. Not today. Right. So we got to show Josh what's going on.
All right. So sorry. Let me start over here on the affiliate side. So where did you lose me?
I basically lost you after the social snowball piece of the Rakuten where people are managing and they're not getting any views there.
Yes. Okay, cool. So basically most brands that I talk to, they have an existing affiliate program. And I think that affiliate and like influencer programs have two different goals. The affiliate program's goal is really to generate direct sales. But the best way to generate direct sales where you're going to get attribution from those influencers is going to be through story swipe ups, because marketers want to get the direct attribution. They want a UTM link or they want a discount code. And so naturally the best place for that is going to be IG stories. I don't think that people are going into the link in bio as often as they used to. Yeah. And so with that, they're limiting their reach, right? And so we've come into brands where they're doing $2-3 million a year in affiliate revenue from influencers, which is awesome. But oftentimes they need to layer in an actual influencer program where they're posting on reels. They also are posting on stories, but really the goal for the influencer program is entertainment, education, and ultimately buying attention on the influencer's timeline versus trying to get that direct sale like affiliate is. So I would just say that the affiliate program feels like a direct sale. It feels like an ad. It feels like a lot more direct selling and trying to get a link click or discount code usage, and how you approach it is just different. But they can work together as well, where we've had it where we'll come in, we'll do a product gifting campaign for a brand and gift, 500 or 1,000 influencers, and the top 10% of those move into the affiliate program so that they can use their affiliate links, do more selling on stories versus IG reels. But I just think that like attention is the most important currency. And so I think that a lot of people are missing the attention piece because they're only doing story placement on affiliate influencer.
And if a brand's trying to wrap their mind around this, it's kind of like, I'm duct taping things together. Mm-hmm. Bringing these programs to life can be time consuming. So what I am curious about, like, would you recommend them start on the affiliate end? Would you recommend they start on the influencer side? Or do you have opinions there to share?
That's a great question. I like to say start on the influencer side, mainly because a lot of brands aren't happy with the amount of affiliate revenue that comes through. So like I've seen it where a 9-figure brand, they're like, oh, we're gonna start an affiliate program. And like they're doing like 30K or 50K a month in direct attributable sales. And it's like such a small drop in the bucket to them that it's not moving the needle in terms of actually growth. And so I think that like if you want to see exponential incremental scale, introducing the influencer program from a product gifting standpoint, working on a paid budget with larger creators from 100K followers to 1 million followers, doing collab posts with them, maybe a product drop, getting content for whitelisting, like all of those things I feel like compound into 7-figure outcomes versus the 30 to 50K in just attributable revenue. And I think that's the thing that holds back a lot of marketers is the more bottom of funnel types of approaches versus like kind of treating it influencers as a top of funnel that then will bleed into things that are going to drive 7 figures worth of revenue.
For sure. Keeping an eye on like the bigger picture seems so important always. And it's like tying it to revenue because it's not like you're avoiding the money. You're saying, no, 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 there's more money to be made.
Right. Totally.
So
Yeah.
that makes so much
Yeah.
sense.
That's how I would kind of like define affiliate program versus influencer program.
Huge, Josh. And then the next tweet that I wanted to pull up is a more recent one and why we connected more recently. It's related to the influencer whitelisting guide, man. So
Love it.
yes, sir. Like I'm so excited that people get to hear you speak about this some more. But like there's two pieces to it. One, I am curious just specifically about the whitelisting guide.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second question that I'll follow up with again later is just related to like someone who's starting an influencer program where they can start. But let's kick off here. Let's kick off with the guide. Like talk to us about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, basically, we put together this guide because we were getting a lot of questions from our clients of like how to set up whitelisting, what that looks like. And so, whitelisting isn't new by any means. Like back when I was in-house at a brand in like 2018, 2019, I had like basically 30 different influencers that were whitelisted through our ad account. And that made up like literally 30% of our ad spend was going into whitelisted ad accounts. And so it's not new, but there has been a big shift this year just with Meta and prioritizing partnership ads. So basically at like the Meta conference, I think it was like in like maybe June timeframe. Maybe was it? I think it was like May, June timeframe. They basically just announced that they're prioritizing partnerships ads. Also within partnerships ads, they were not only making it a lot easier for the brand to send access to the influencer, but they're also made it more customized where you can say, I'm running it just from the influencer's handle or from the influencer and the brand handle or just one. And then also you're able to get into the influencer's audiences as well to build out lookalikes, remarketing buckets, that kind of thing. And so anyways, we put together this guide because we had some clients who were spending, 6 figures on our ad content. And it just seemed like there was a lot of misinformation on whitelisting where we had to do like a full account access, where you're literally in the back end of Business Manager, like, and you would get on a call with an influencer on a Zoom call and have to walk them through where's the invite, how do you get access? But now it's become a lot easier. And so we wanted to put together a guide, not only how to get access, but how to like do the full sourcing, negotiation, contracts. And we just, brought in some really great minds from Tanner at Herman Digital, Courtney Fritz, and some of our other clients at Chili Pad with some in-house advertisers. So yeah, anyways, it just seemed like a natural time to do it. And the feedback has been great.
I love it, man. How can people get this guide?
Yeah, if you just go to that tweet right there and then go under it, there's like a sign up page. It's like aligngrowthmanagement.com, and then it's like /whitelisting guide.
Everybody tap
Oh
in.
yeah,
Everybody tap
influencer whitelisting guide. Sorry, that's the official one. I don't know how to put it in the chat, but I don't
think we can put it in the chat. We got to use our words because we're streaming across all these different platforms.
Oh, cool.
We can't push out to like the different ones. But we have Brad Smith jump in from YouTube. So Brad on YouTube, check us out. Make sure you check Josh out on Twitter. See what's going on. And then following that one up, Josh, like this is the new world people have to operate within and how to set it up, how to negotiate, figure it out. What I do want to speak to are the people who are just getting their influencer program off the ground. Like talk us through the 101s of influencer marketing.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say it kind of depends on the size of the brand, right?
Okay.
So like I kind of have broken this out into different levels of revenue of like where you should be investing into influencer. And so I would say at like 1 million a year, like if you're under 1 million a year, I wouldn't even start investing into influencer. I would literally just be focused on paid social, email marketing, finding product market fit, creative testing, and like just contracting with like UGC creators. Like that's going to be the most direct line to getting like to scaling up top line revenue. And I think that a lot of people make this mistake where they try, too many tactics too fast. You need to have a strong foundation because influencer is going to be really great when you have paid social figured out, right? So a lot of people come to me a little early and they're like, we want to do influencer, we're ready. And they, they're spending less than 15K a month on Meta. and I'm like, hey, you need to go hire Jess, or you need to go hire any number of the great agencies that are on D2C Twitter, and go get Meta figured out, because influencers is only going to be gas to the fire once you have paid social figured out. I would say from there, if you're like 1 to 5 million in range, like then you can definitely start on like just product gifting, and I would just do it in house. DMing people on Instagram. You can sign up for a Sorrel or an Aspire. You can sign up to a SaaS tool like that, but just starting to send out like 30 packages a month, so to where you're trying to get like 1 post a day from creators, get 1 year paid usage rights, take that content, measure it from a CPM lens on the organic reach, plug it into paid social, test it, see how that's working. And then, from 6 to 10 million a year, then it might make sense to start, maybe hiring an agency. That's usually like our typical client is above 8 figures, but 6 to 10 mil is kind of a sweet spot for us when I think it makes sense to even scale it up further. So 30, 60 packages a month out to creators, following up with them to post, that kind of thing. And then until you're at like 30 million a year, I would just scale up product gifting to the max, because you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy with the results. I think the thesis with Align Growth is that influencer is a great attention channel. It's not going to be your direct response channel. And so like the clients that we spend 30, 60, 100K a month on influencer partnerships are the ones who that makes up a very small percentage of their revenue, right? Where they're spending 50K a month, and they, we're helping them with a Costco campaign. They have like they're an initial, couple hundred stores. We're helping them try to sell out the product, generate tons of attention, tons of buzz, take that content, whitelist it, that kind of thing. But until then, like you can get such cheap CPMs and just like start to build a lot of more organic awareness from just product gifting if you're under that like 15, 30 million a year threshold, to where it's just you're just measuring cost based off your cost of goods sold. So anyways, and then past that, it's off to the races, right? In terms of if you want to sign a celebrity to be a part of the brand, if you want to do like whitelisting, if you want to do a product collaboration. But that's kind of how we like benchmark the different levers that you can pull at different revenue marks, that I think can kind of be helpful just for any brand owner out there that's like thinking about pulling that lever for influencer.
I love that so much. So starting with the revenue models and just like, where are you at from a revenue perspective and what makes sense? The other side that I'm thinking about as a follow-up is related to like the influencer size. So is there an associated size of audience that you're going after in correspondence with the revenue marker of the brand? Or how does that look?
Yeah. So I would say at least how we think about it at AGM is like we kind of have it into like 2 broad buckets. So like for product gifting is, those are typically going to be between the 10,000 and 100,000 follower range, to where, and also when I say product gifting, I mean you're actually sending product in exchange for a post and 1 year paid usage rights. I think there's nuance here where there's also the word seeding, and it's like kind of synonymous. And so you can call it, product gifting, which is like maybe a product exchange where you're actually asking for deliverables up front, which basically enables you to keep the influencer accountable, to ask for them to post, be able to use that content for creative rights, so you don't have to do it after the fact. And then second to that is, the seeding, which if you're just doing product gifting and not doing any paid promotion, taking a seeding approach with a truly no strings attached methodology and going up market to like, and swinging for the fences with like celebrity level creators or just someone with a large following. So like, for example, we've done this we did this for Hexclad, where we sent Alex Earl a set of Hexclad pans, and it's not like we had her opt into terms in Aspire, right? Like we didn't like get a 1 year creative rights from Alex Earl up front in exchange for a post. Like she's getting hundreds and hundreds of packages per month. But we were able to send her some Hexclad pans, and like there was a viral moment last year where she was like talking to this DJ guy at like the Miami FC, and then like she gave him the cold shoulder. But then in that same post, she was cooking with like Hexclad pans as like a day in the life. Like it was kind of like a viral moment, and then the next post had Hexclad pans. And so anyways, you have your product exchange from 10K to 100K followers, like product gifting, and like, you have a set amount of deliverables, and then you can use seeding to kind of like get your product into the hands of celeb level or just like 100K to 1 million follower type creators. So anyways, using that methodology has been really helpful, even with things like CrossFit athletes or, other kind of like professional athletes we've done a lot for. But yeah, that's kind of how I benchmark like those two services.
And do you recommend that brands do both and like they're both equally as important?
Yeah. I mean, I would say like the bulk is like first things first, get your ducks in a row, get the product exchange and product gifting program off the ground. But then, maybe 10% of those are just swinging for the fences, right? So like start to try to get into the hands of, people who are seriously influential, who are bigger than just a micro creator. But I think it's really powerful to be able to have like 30 plus posts going live every single month, generating that organic buzz on social, being able to remarket that, reposting that, leveraging that for paid. It just creates a flywheel where all of a sudden your paid social agency can now take those, put those into B-roll edits, that kind of thing. And they're just like, and also getting like net new creative angles that you didn't have to think through, and that just letting the creator create is ultimately what we're going for. So I think that's another thing, is just like, how can we enable other outside voices who aren't inside the brand or maybe aren't inside the ad account, just organically come up with like new concepts of how to market that product.
I love that last point, because some things to be said about an in-house employee. You could come up with a million ideas, but if you start bucketing them, they might actually fall into like 2 buckets, for example. All of a sudden you introduce some other brains into the process, and that's where you start to get that creative diversity at scale. So I really, really like that. Been talking a ton about creative diversity recently.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. I think I saw someone tweet this morning about how it's like, her name was Lauren. So I think she's like a UGC kind of agency on Twitter, and they were talking about how there's like 5 other agencies in the ad account making creatives, which is like awesome. I love it when there's like a bunch of different creatives all working on different angles, and you have your high-end like video photo shoots down to your grainy like UGC ugly ads. And so I just think that like enabling actual influencers who have an audience, who know their audience, to just organically come up with new concepts is just going to take a load off of the internal teams and agencies, and kind of like just get net new ideas basically just for free product.
For sure. Okay, I have a couple final follow-ups just on the influencer route here. But the first one that I'm thinking of is like, we've talked about the follower count thresholds and then the gifting and seeding strategy. Should brands be thinking about micro influencers at all?
Should brands be thinking about micro influencers at all? I would say so. I mean, like on the 10K to 100K follower is like what I would consider micro influencers. So I guess, are you saying sub 10,000?
Yeah. Sorry. Definitions. So sub the 10K.
Sub 10K?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know what the use case is, but if someone's passionate about the brand and they have a passionate following of some kind, and like, for example, my wife actually has like, I don't know, maybe 7,000 or 8,000 followers on Instagram, but she runs a college women's ministry, and she's had a podcast that has like, maybe like 3 million downloads. And, if you look at her profile, she actually has the likes turned off, but like each post that she posts gets like 1,500 likes. It's like the engagement rate for her is like insane. And it's partly because she has like such a niche audience. And so I think one thing to look at is just like, what's the average view count of those videos on Instagram, and seeing like what's one metric that we like to look at is percentage of following to views. So like, instead of just engagement rate, I think engagement rate is kind of like, I don't really care about it because it doesn't tell me anything, but I think just looking at views to follower ratio is interesting. And then just like average view count, because ultimately we're trying to buy attention. So with a sub 10,000 followers, like I think it can work, but especially if they're getting into the For You algorithm, and like, there's someone that has 10,000 followers that can get 100K views per video, like we're totally down for that. But I don't think it happens that often, getting that kind of ratio.
For sure. Okay, the next thing, I only have like 1 or 2 questions here, is just building an agency out in the business that you've built.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I'm curious about is just like the focus area. So you mentioned
Mm.
before you were in-house, like doing the paid ad stuff, working with influencers, all this. So you have the skill to kind of dabble into a bunch of different places.
Yeah.
Why focus in on the influencer end versus a media buy side versus a creative side of things?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, so what happened was when I started Align Growth in January 2021, we were paid social and email, and we are just growth marketing. And so I did that for basically a year, just doing paid social, email. It was me into like contractors basically, and we were just, running and gunning across a couple different accounts. And honestly, it's kind of funny. I sat down, I was at a conference at Geek Out in San
Yeah.
Diego, and I was around a table with like Chase Diamond and Zach Stuck. And there's this new guy who was asking us, like, hey, what do you guys do? And then everyone at the table said the same thing. We were like, we do paid social and email for e-com brands. And I was like, I just had this like light bulb that went off in my head. And I was like, everyone else is doing this. Like, it's really hard to stick out. And also in 2021, we were struggling with, just like iOS 14 changes. And it was just a tough time. Like I had missed the wave of 2020. Like I didn't own an agency in 2020 where things were just popping off from a paid social because everyone was like buying products online. And then, just like going into, 2021, like late 2021, people were starting, we're going into like a post-COVID world. And so I don't know. It was just like one of those things where I wasn't having fun anymore. And I just had been doing paid social since 2015. So like, I guess, 6 years of just being in the ad account day in and day out. And I just wanted to try something new. And so I had someone that DM'd me on Twitter and they're like, hey, do you do influencer marketing? And I was like, sure thing. We just so happened to start this service yesterday, just kind of thing. And I had met another like influencer marketing SaaS platform while I was at the Geek Out event. And so ultimately we just kind of strapped it together and like, I just wanted to test it out. I just wanted to like test the waters. What would it be like to just run a full influencer program and just do that? And I just really enjoyed the process there was like a lot of structure that we could build around it. There's a lot of like, I was also, like I mentioned, I was like basically by myself with some contractors, but I could see that I could like build a team around that. There's a clear process of like getting an influencer product and also like just create a strategy of like putting together a creative brief, finding just new concepts and working with them, like negotiation. So all those kind of things I just thought were like so interesting and fun. And it also was just like different in the market. And like, I think at the time, the guys at Kinship, they were doing it at the time as well. And like, I kind of saw them do it and I thought that was interesting. And so I just like started testing it out for myself and I just genuinely enjoyed it. And so now we've just been doing it for, I guess, like 3.5 years now since like late 2021. I guess we've been around since beginning of 2021. So we're coming up on 4.5 years. And yeah, I don't know. It was just, I just found it so fun to kind of like go down the rabbit hole and like kind of learn and figure it out versus just having done, paid social for the prior 6 years and just doing that.
Got you. That's huge, man. That's huge. And shout out to all the people you had mentioned, like the
Yeah.
Zacks of the world. We got Cody from Kinship joining us next week too. So
yeah,
all these
awesome.
people are awesome. All these people are awesome. And then the last question I have on the agency side is I've been talking to a lot of people who work at agencies recently, especially the larger agencies. And there's like a general sentiment of like, I don't think they'd ever say this out loud to their boss by any means, but like stuck in what you could accomplish. So what I'm curious about is for yourself, did you always have the entrepreneurial bug in you, like since a young age? Or is it more like, did it change over time?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think for me, it was one of those things where like growing up, my dad actually, he lost his job twice within like 5 years. And so there's this thing in me that was like, oh, a job's not safe, which isn't true. But I just kind of like went on this journey of like studying entrepreneurship since like 2013. I was very early watching Gary Vee on YouTube. I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, 4-Hour Work Week. And honestly, the 4-Hour Work Week was why I got into e-commerce, because Tim Ferriss was like, find a $200 AOV product with high profit margins. And that's when I started a weighted blanket brand with my mom. And so my mom was a therapist and she used the blanket for her most anxious clients. And so we started selling it and like just on Facebook Marketplace, and we'd put it on Marketplace and sell a couple in like 10 minutes for like $100 a pop. And so like that first year we did like $30,000 just through like Facebook Marketplace. And then I learned how to build a Shopify store. I hired a Facebook ads coach who was like just a drop shipping guy. And that next year we did literally 500K in sales from my like parents' garage, and then 2 million and then 6 million. And so just entrepreneurial bug for me was just kind of like a means of like generating safety and like kind of controlling my own path, because I didn't have like an easy in to any kind of industry, or I didn't have like I didn't have my own, like I was in college for, business management, but I wasn't going to become an accountant. I didn't want to become a sales guy. And so it was just kind of, I just got into this marketing thing, and just like on the side was just like taking tons of courses on digitalmarketer.com, reading every book I could get my hands on, until ultimately I graduated college and I was self-employed. So I would say that, yeah, since like, or like late high school into college, I just had this entrepreneurial bug, and yeah, basically been self-employed for most of those years until like 1 year I worked in-house at a brand in like 2019, 2020 timeframe.
Huge, man. The motivator is really interesting. So like how the psychology plays out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of self-awareness that you had. Like, how you said it passively, but it's very important in my mind. It's like I was like doing my Bachelor of Commerce, didn't want to be a salesperson, didn't want to be an accountant. But I think like life can shovel you in that direction. And it's just like society tells you like, this is the job that you need to do. This is what success looks like.
Yeah.
And there's something powerful of what you mentioned, of being able to say, no. Like, I kind of know what I want. It's like, not this thing,
Yeah.
So kudos to you, man. That's awesome. That's incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
One of the things that I am interested about, and I know you posted on Twitter about this, but like we're now looking at Josh at a place of you're able to do team off sites. You got a team of how many people is it now? Is it 11, 13?
We're about like 10 full-time right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, see what I'm talking about? So we got a squad. Like we've seen the up and up like in this story that started to happen.
Yeah.
Something that I'm always curious about in someone's journey is like from the outside looking in, it looks like that. You're like, holy crap, awesome.
Yeah.
But along the way, it's like, shit, fell. Whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So something that I'm curious about is like in your journey, was there a moment where it's like, damn, this is hard. Like, don't know if I'm going to make it. But then you ended up pushing through.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the things that I've talked about a lot on Twitter is, the weighted blanket brand I scaled to like $6 million top line. And then the next year we had to file bankruptcy. And so that was like a really big part of my journey of like learning around cash flow, using debt, that kind of thing. But that's kind of like one of those things that now it's kind of just like water off my back of just like the challenges that come with entrepreneurship. I don't have any, I walked through hell with no burns on me. And so I just think that now I think like if I picked one from 2025, it would be tariff season. I think that like last year we grew by like 50%. This year we're on pace we're 40% growth year for year. But like Q2, we lost like our biggest client. We lost like 18% of our revenue with one of our clients. And in addition to that, when Trump is tweeting out like new tariff changes and stuff like that, we lost another 3 or 4 clients in a week just because their product was manufactured in China. And so I think with those things, one of the things that I was always thinking about though, like during COVID was, COVID was such a challenging time for brands because like no one knew what was going to happen, kind of like April, March timeframe. And then, revenue took off for a ton of D2C brands and for agencies. And so I always thought to myself, I wish that I had been, I wish I had owned a brand, or I wish I had owned an agency in 2020. And I just thought to myself, as all these things are going down this year, of like, I told myself that then, and like, you don't get to get the upside without like earning your stripes. And so I think that like through this year with, having just more churn than normal because of macroeconomic conditions, I think that like the agencies that are coming out on the other end of that, and the brands that are coming out on the other end of that, are just stronger just because of it made them, more, just more scrappy and ultimately more frugal with cash flow and stuff like that. And so, yeah, anyways, that like Q2 this year was like super challenging, transparently. But now we're starting to see lots of brands come back with bigger budgets for influencer and wanting to continue to grow.
This is huge, man. And when you went through this, like you talked about it, going through hell, and like you left unscathed there. Now
Yeah.
that Q2 was tough, did you feel the same amount of stress that you had felt like when you were going through like the bankruptcy stuff?
No, definitely not that
Mhm.
amount of stress. Mainly because I was like losing tons and tons of money every single month when I was running the Way to Blanket brand. And at that point, I had 60 employees, and my rent was 20K a month. And it was just like, that was like a whole other ballpark, but
Right.
it was definitely stressful, but on a smaller scale.
Oh man, Josh. So I have one more tweet here, and like shifting to the personal side. So
Yeah.
your pops now. How many kids do you have? How many kiddos?
We just had our second kid about like
Oh,
2 months ago.
congrats, man. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
I'm not a pop. I have this map that everyone thinks I am, but at some point I'd
Yeah, I
love
saw
to
that
have
too, and I
kids.
thought that it was.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like my baby fever is through the roof. So at some
Okay,
point.
let's go.
But what I am curious about is there was like a theme when I was looking through your Twitter, like those pillars
Mhm,
you started with.
mhm.
And going back to you here. So this is actually from 2021. This isn't like a recent post
Yeah,
by
throwback.
any means. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I look so
So
much younger.
now you
Just
look
kidding.
the
I think I
same.
look the
Get out of
same,
here.
literally the
You
same.
might do you have the same shirt on? Do you have the same shirt on?
No, that's a different shirt, actually.
Different
It
tee.
looks
Different
similar.
tee.
It's like same vibe.
Yeah. A little distressed on there, like
Yeah,
the same wash. But
yeah.
something I am curious about is like your definition of success. Like you talked about the entrepreneurial
Mhm,
books. We see this here. As time has gone on, you're an ambitious person, but how are you
mhm.
viewing success?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, for me, like, I think what success looks like for me is just like spending a lot of time with my family. So, I think there's like a natural progression when you go from a W-2 employee to self-employed where, you get to travel, you don't have to report to a boss, like you get to go work from a coffee shop, instead of like going into an office. Like there's all those kind of like fun perks like along the way. But I think for me now is just, for I like I'm now logging off of work at like 4 o'clock every day. And I start work at 9:30 because I hang out with my daughter every morning from like 7 till 9. And then I hand her off to my wife. And then I work from 9:30 to 4, and then I'm done. And then I jump into dad mode, hang out with my kids. We go to the beach a lot. I live in Vero Beach, Florida. And so I think for me, it's success is just like being a present dad and not being a perfect dad. But if I'm my highest self if I'm like being the best version of Josh, it's being a present husband and being a present dad. And it's really hard to do when your email is popping off and you still have tweets that are out, and I'm on Eastern time and everyone else is still working. And so that's one of the things I'm working on myself is like success to me looks like turning it all off, being present in the moment, being in real life. That's what success looks like for me right now.
I love that so much. Something I am curious about is like you said, like when you're logging off, people are still on, the grind still exists.
Yeah.
How have you created this environment for yourself?
The to log off. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Is it purely discipline where you're like, nah, I'm just not looking at it? Or or is there other things that you have done to make sure everything else is
Yeah.
still humming?
Yeah, for sure. Well, number one, I have a really great team in place with AGM. So, just like the staff that I have at AGM, like we're very small but mighty team. Like, I tweeted about it earlier, but I just have like absolute killers on the team at AGM. Everyone is like so organized. Everyone is like self-disciplined, self-motivated. Where logging off is like a client fire. I can wait till tomorrow because my team is handling 99% of those. And so just from, our account managers to our campaign managers or director of operations, everyone it has a clear role and clear responsibilities. We run off of EOS from the book Traction. And so that just enables like I've had employees who have come over from other companies or other agencies who basically say, "Oh my gosh, like it's so peaceful working at AGM because I know exactly what I'm supposed to do and I know exactly what lane I'm running in." So I would say number one, like foundationally, is like it's not the Josh Durham show anymore. Like it used to be when I was a paid social guy. It was like, oh, Josh just knows all the best ad tactics. And no, it's like I've hired influencer marketing assassins who are really great at their job and are, can be trusted with like, from the smallest client to the biggest 9-figure $1 billion brand. And then second to that, I guess just on the personal side, is honestly just leaving the phone in my office. And it doesn't always happen, right? But just trying to leave my phone behind in the office so that I'm away from it. And then it also takes, ideally going on a walk, getting a workout in, just going outside so that my brain starts to turn off from the email, Slack messages, ad accounts, creatives, all that fun stuff, and just going into dad mode and being present. So these are all ideals. I'm not saying that I have nailed all of these, but those are kind of my go-tos.
Josh, I love it. You've been so generous with your time. I have one final question for you that I ask everybody who comes up here about. If you don't have an immediate answer, throw it to me first. I got your back and I can answer it.
Okay.
Question is, do you have a favorite quote? And if so, what is it and why?
Whoa. Favorite quote. Man, that's a tough one.
Toss it to me first if you need. Toss it to me first. I got you. But
I kind of have it in my head, but I might butcher it. So I'll just give you the concept of it. Is that okay?
Perfect.
So basically, one quote concept I really love is just around like when life is tough and you're going through challenging times, realize that life is actually really long. And there's a lot of time to recover. There's like lots of grace. But when times are really good and things are going extremely well, just realize that life is actually really short. And so depending on where you're going through is you either need to zoom out or maybe zoom in and enjoying the moment. And so I just think that perspective has always served me well, even when times are tough, going through Q2 turn, going through tariffs, going through bankruptcy, and seeing that like, oh, I have a lot more time here on earth. And then also when times are really great, just like enjoying the moment and like soaking it up as much as you can. So I think that concept has always just served me well.
That gave me the chills, man. Oh,
that's good.
That was incredible. Any final words you want to leave with our audience today?
No, just thank you so much for having me. If you're on Twitter, I would love to chat with you at Josh J. Durham. Also, I live stream this on our YouTube channel. We haven't been posting there that much, but I'm excited for this to be up there. Go check it out. We have a couple interviews with our clients at Flux Footwear if you want to check that out. But other than that, Evan, thanks so much for having me.
The content's going up. It was a pleasure to meet you, man. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing a piece of you. And I hope we get to do it again. This was awesome.
Yeah, let's do it. Just let me know.
Most definitely. Okay. I'll talk to you soon, Josh. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.
Oh man, everybody. I'm so happy I met Josh. I'm so happy. I had never been exposed to him, and through Twitter, those 3 pillars he had mentioned are very accurate, So it's just like, is he going to be competitive? Like, what's he going to be like? But Josh is so down to earth and very clear on his principles and what he wants to execute on. So I'm super happy with the chat because like on the influencer side of things, I learned a ton. Like I've been thinking a lot about the best way to roll out an influencer program, right? So it's like hearing the different pieces of thinking about, again, definitions matter, but like micro to what he would call micro to then the celebrity side of things, super valuable. Rolling out an influencer program versus an affiliate program, super valuable. If you rolled out an affiliate program first, you might think you failed at the influencer side and that would not be right. And then really focusing on the top of funnel content to drive awareness, to get as many impressions, views, and reach as possible seems so impactful. I'm definitely bought into that by what we have going on. So Josh shared a ton there. And then he also went into the personal stuff too, right? Like there's so much stuff he has going on personally, like the experience of the weighted blanket company and going through bankruptcy, working in and outside a brand, now building a pretty successful influencer marketing agency. That's stuff that's not easy to do, you know what I mean? So being able to see that come to life is something that I deeply respect. But these 2 dudes have been incredible. Jess is someone I respect as well, but these conversations have been amazing. Everybody, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you've enjoyed these conversations, where I want you to check us out is on Twitter. So check us out at ThumbstopLive, at ThumbstopLive. We are streaming Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern across all of your favorite channels. So YouTube, LinkedIn, X or Twitter, and Instagram Live. And this has been a blast, everybody. I appreciate the time today. I'm excited for tomorrow. We have Alexa from Vermont and then Phil from Future Commerce joining us. I have a feeling we're going to learn so much about their background, so I'm pumped up, y'all. But this has been the blast. I appreciate everybody. Enjoy the rest of your days, and we'll talk soon. Peace.